Hogwarts Legacy has brand new leaks that point to a very big game. This is in line with predictions that some of us made about this being a surprisingly deep and expansive RPG. They also just recently released a official cinematic 4K trailer. We will be taking a look at that during this broadcast as well. I put all of the good information here at the beginning of the show. That way you don't have to go looking for it. So we're going to be breaking down all of the information in this leak, because there's really, really good things here. We have information about the game length, how much gear you can equip, as well as what you can expect if you try to go for a completionist run in the game. So make sure you're subscribed to the channel. I put all the information at the front so you don't have to go looking for it, and let me break it down for you. So I did make previous predictions about depth, and when they showed us the Hogwarts Legacy Room of Requirement, it was pretty clear to me that this game was far deeper and bigger than many expected. I continue to say I think this game is going to surprise people. I think it's going to have a surprising deep RPG feel to it with lots of things going on. Now, we previously did a video about performance concerns. Now, some of those concerns I had put to rest by people in my community that are a little bit more adept with computers and technology than me, and they said, listen, it actually looks like it's pretty well optimized. Now, I continue to still have some concerns about the minimum memory requirements on PC and what that means for console, but for the most part, my concerns about Hogwarts Legacy performance have been pretty much put to bed. Now, what was leaked about game length? Okay, so GameRant.com had the following to say. As reported by Video Games Chronicle, a new leak reveals that the main story of Hogwarts Legacy will take around 35 hours to finish and 70 hours needed for 100% completion. So if you are going for a full completionist run, it's going to take about 70 hours. Now, I don't know if the leak is saying that based off of like, oh, is that if you do multiple characters? I don't think that lines up if you do multiple characters, because if you do multiple characters, I would imagine that's going to be, 4 times at the very least of the 35-hour run. Now, is the leak trustworthy? This is always the question we have to ask. If there's a leak about a video game, can we trust it? Is it reliable? According to GameRant.com, the data comes from a leaked art book of the game, and fans can find other interesting information from the images posted. So there was more information than just game length. There was information about the gear you can equip from the character menu. So this is directly from pictures taken of the art book. Now, I'm not going to show any of that just in case they get a little bit, persnickety about people showing certain things about the game. But I will tell you there are 7 total pieces of gear that you can equip. A wand, gloves, something for your face, headwear, neckwear, robe and cloak are included together, and then your outfit. So 7 total pieces of gear. There were also 2 equipment slots. You have your flying mount and then your broom. Then above all of that, you actually had 3 main categories for your character. You had health, defense, and offense. So there is that RPG element here. Watch out, arachnophobia. There's a lot of spiders here. There is that RPG feel. The menu looks like an RPG. It really reminded me of some of the Assassin's Creed menus with respect to you've got your character sitting there looking at you. You can swap out the gear. Now, in addition to all the gear that you could equip, I also noticed in the screenshot, it looked like they were going to have different tier levels for the gear. The Hogwarts Legacy gear was laid out. There was purple, there was green, there was orange. So that could be another level of the RPG elements of Hogwarts Legacy gameplay, meaning there's different tiers of gear. You're going to have reasons to go get better stuff, stronger stuff, etc. We don't know if each individual gear piece has stats or not. There was no way to look at that. It was just a picture from an art book. There was also a picture. Now, this is obviously going to get into debates with people about whether or not the game should be live service, but there was a picture of the Great Hall. That's where they meet and eat, and all the candles are floating. The Great Hall. And it was decorated for Christmas. Now, again, this was just an art book, but this could have just been concept art for hey, what if we did that in the Great Hall? However, this could point to live service potential. Maybe there's live service events, live events going on at the school, but it also could just represent the passage of time. They did show us in a recent dev YouTube video where they sat down and showed off the gameplay. They did show that there would be times where there was snow on the ground. There's going to be passage of time while you're, probably going through the story. I still think that this game, with the school as the centerpiece of the game and this place that they've invested so much time into, it just makes sense. It's like, what a great central hub that would be. And honestly, Harry Potter and Christmas just seem to really go well together. So what does this mean, right? What does game length do to some of my theories about the game? Well, number one, I think it helps my theory that this will be a surprisingly deep game. I think a genuine, true open world RPG is what this is shaping up to be. It certainly adds to replay value if each house can be played for approximately 70 hours if you go completionist. Now, we don't know if the story or the dialogue changes significantly if you're a Slytherin versus a Gryffindor, but we'll have to wait and see. And what does that do to your completionist run? Is it going to make you take less time when you switch houses if you want to go for another run? Having a 35-hour story playthrough and then 35 hours more for extras and side quests, that's a really great value. Some single-player games, you only get about maybe 10 more hours when you leave the main quest. Getting basically double that is pretty impressive. That means they put a lot of extras in this game, basically 35 for main story, and another 35 hours if you want to do all of the extras. Now, the second thing this does is I don't think it hurts my live service hopes for the game, but it doesn't really help my live service hopes either. An open world RPG with this level of time to completion would certainly make for a great live service springboard. Nobody could really complain that the game was, cut short or not given enough information if, they cut it short because they were going to be live service. I think the amount of content and the amount of information we have now really lends itself well to just a solid game that then they could build off of, right? It also sounds like it could be a very full, value-laden, contained offering. This could just be a complete game with virtually nothing else added onto it. Now, with the treatment of the Dark Arts Arena and their treatment of the deluxe editions, I could see them adding more places in the school grounds itself, DLCs and add-ons, etc. As far as ongoing content models, you've got DLCs, you've got sequels. Those are possibilities. I still think those are possible. I don't think what we've learned about game length is working against either of those possibilities for ongoing content models. If the game was much shorter than what we're hearing, I would understand folks being concerned about live service or additive content being thin or weak or essentially ripped out of the game. I think that would be a justifiable concern to say, wow, it doesn't sound like a very full game. So I think anybody worried about that can put those concerns to rest. It sounds like a very, very full game. Now, the last thing I'm going to say that's going to feel a little weird for me to say, I think this game is going to remind me of Skyrim. And you're like, well, don't get ahead of yourself, man. Skyrim is, one of the greatest games ever created, according to some people. It was sort of the quintessential and very, very first big, large, expansive open world RPG that had massive critical and commercial acclaim. I know there were games before it like Oblivion, but Skyrim really put them on the map for that idea of having a very large open world RPG. Let me explain what I mean when I say it's going to remind me of Skyrim. Another, in my mind, we're going to have another lengthy open world RPG that I wish I could play with somebody else, right? Speculation about a Hogwarts Online might actually start to get traction if the game feels like a solid foundation to build upon. Hogwarts as a location, I think, is perfect for a central hub for so many things. Expansions into other schools, expansions into other territories. Quidditch is a huge request from the community. That could be added on as something separate. And here again, you can see they do have plans to have sort of snow in the game. Right there you can see the passage of time. Clearly there's going to be different seasonal things going on while you're playing the game, not just representing different biomes, but likely again, the passage of time. At some level, I think the world and the universe of Harry Potter gives them limitless options. There's unlimited things that they can do with the world of Harry Potter, and I would hope that they consider that, and that this is not just a one-time game, but something far bigger and maybe even something ongoing. So, as always, if you made it this far into the video, make sure you hit subscribe and the bell button so you don't miss the live shows. But I am live right now. I'm live on the TikTok. We got a lot of people hanging out over there, already over 1,000 likes. We need 2 more people to click that star button to get us to our goal of 10 subscribers. And over here on YouTube, let's get our daily member goal up. And our alerts are turned on. Our alerts were way too loud yesterday. I was not paying attention. I reset some things in OBS, and holy moly, it was loud yesterday. I was like listening to the broadcast back, and I was like, that seems really loud. So I do apologize for that. Let's get Reforge Roast in the scene. There we go. So let's see what we can get here. First coffee order and first member of the day. Who wants to take the honor of doing that? Make sure you're smashing the like button and make sure you guys do all of the things that help this video get found by more people. And I would love to hear from you. What do you think about this? 35 hours for the main story. Yo, what's good, Civics? 35 hours for the main story and another additional 35 hours for side quests. That's massive. Somebody says, what do you think of the game Dragon Age Origins? I remember really, really liking Dragon Age Inquisition. I didn't play Origins. I'm taking a sip of the Reforge Roast right now. Right, we drink our own coffee. We do drink our own coffee. They're under WB. I thought it was the same publisher. I don't know about Skyrim, but it will be good. Now, when I said it was going to remind me of Skyrim, I wasn't trying to indicate that I feel like this game is going to be as good as Skyrim. It's going to remind me of Skyrim. Like, man, I really wish I could play this with my wife, right? Like, I really wish I could do that. But as far as game length goes, I'm looking at 35 hours thinking, holy moly, like that's a long time. The average completion time for God of War Ragnarok is like 25 hours if you just do the main story. This has got 10 more hours on top of that. And then in addition to that, if you do all the side quests and everything, you go for a completionist run, you're going to double the game's length. And you can equip 7 pieces of gear. If you guys missed that in the show open, 7 pieces of gear. A wand, gloves, face, headwear, neckwear, robe and cloak, and outfit. And then the way they broke down the stats, I don't want to show the image. You guys can find that on your own. There's people putting it in the Discord if you want to see it. Is the alleged cut content okay to discuss? Could turn out to be controversial if true. There's alleged cut content. What's the alleged cut content? That could end up being, another show or a short or something. I've not heard about any alleged cut content barrier. Map scene's big enough to have a lot of activities and side quests. Yes, there are images of the map circulating. The map looks absolutely massive. I was kind of interested in this game until I found out it was single player only. Right here we have somebody saying different houses will have different progression on individual main quests, but will eventually wrap up into the same result. Students from a certain house will therefore visit Azkaban briefly. Okay, so he's saying that you're not going to have a very different experience if you play from different houses. There is a lot of side missions in the game, including 3 side missions through the main line. There's no 4th one. Ravenclaw got thrown aside. So this is the brand new official cinematic trailer 4K. I'll let this thing play beginning to end. I'll let you guys see snippets of it in the show open. I'll let it play now. Do me a favor, there's already over 400 people here on YouTube. Get us to 200 likes. We already have over 2,000 likes. We have over 100 people watching on the TikTok. That's more than we've ever had over here. It's in London also, as we see Big Ben in the background at the end. Yeah, if you're watching over here on the TikTok, you can't see the trailer that I'm showing people. That comes from the same source as the art book stuff. So he's saying that they scrapped some side quests for Ravenclaw. I mean, I'm not going to be that upset about that. It sounds like there is just a massive amount of content. Yo, Quintar is going to come in. This is a great reason to be here as often as you can be over on YouTube. He's going to gift 5 members to start the day off. As soon as this trailer is over, I'll go back to the main scene and I will update the count. I love that shot of that dragon, man. That fight looks pretty awesome. And, oh, there we go. The members are popping up at the top left corner there. Skylar Tipton, the Legacy, Dragon Stalker, and Wesley Mitchell, and then 3 Mile Island. You guys all got a gifted member. Make sure you get into my Discord. That is a great way to be sure that you don't miss out on anything that we have going on. Let me update that. That's already 5 out of the 25. Quintar, you've been so faithful and so consistent with those gifted members, man. I greatly appreciate it. Thank you so much. And if we hit 25 members, I have to give 5, so that's why that's down there. I pay it forward and say thank you. That doesn't have to be gifteds, by the way. You can do your own membership. I wonder what kind of hours you could play if you played from each house, says Goddess. You do a good job, great videos. Thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, we had a short video go out this morning about this, and we appreciate everybody who engages with our short form content as well. Thank you for the great content. Thank you guys for supporting what we do here. I've seen so many people lately say, hey man, this is the first time I've ever found a show like this, or I recently found the channel and I really like it. And a lot of you guys I'm seeing you're here every single day. I greatly appreciate that. One of the greatest ways to support the show so it continues on is to click the $ at the bottom of chat, or the join button on YouTube, or the star button on the tick. And then we greatly appreciate it. Aggravating, I have the drop-down selected to switch to live chat, but it's gone. Stuck on top chat. Maybe they're getting rid of, I don't know. What happens when you click the little gear? The little gears up there next to the scissors, Sven. Yo, good morning, feed. Will this game last me till Starfield? That's all I need to know. Well, the current Hogwarts Legacy leaks are pointing to the fact that if you just play through the main story, it's going to give you 35 hours of Hogwarts Legacy gameplay. Then, in addition to that, if you go doing all of the side stuff, it's going to give you 70 hours of gameplay, right? I'm here for the epic t-shirts. This is a full cover print. I'll show the folks at YouTube how far down. I mean, it goes all the way down. See? This is a full front cover print shirt for Centipede from 80s Tees. If you like my shirt, make sure you use my code over there, 80stees.com. 80stees.com. And then use my code. Use code LONO to get 30% off. That shirt goes hard. Thank you. And I switched my glasses to more of a Harry Potter style glasses today. Make sure and support me over there at Gamer Advantage if you ever want to get yourself some blue light blocking glasses. We are partnered with them. Thank you so much for another strong turnout. We are very much looking forward to Hogwarts Legacy. And thank you for almost 200 likes here on YouTube. I want to know what y'all think, though. Like, when you hear about game length like this, you hear like, man, Hogwarts Legacy is going to have basically 35 hours if you just want to complete the main story. Does that sound, too fast for you? Oh, I'm sorry, not too fast, too long. The opposite. Oh, these are not Infernos. Let me update this. These are Lucid Storm. These are Lucid Storm frames. There we go. I updated the glasses command. It still works. Code Lono still works over there. Thank you for using the glasses command, Quiet Shy. Swade says, not to be a broken record, but it comes down to gameplay and content loop. It's great if there's that much content. I just hope it's done well and not repetitive map puke. Right, we've talked about this before with games like Assassin's Creed where they just kind of puke on the map, and that's a concern, right? When you're playing through a game like this, that's always a concern. Are you going to get tired of swinging your wand around? Are you going to get tired of the combat? Now, when they started showing the Dark Arts Battle Arena, or whatever they're calling it, where you can, practice, I got the sensation that the combat was actually going to be quite a bit better than we originally thought. There was more of a cinematic thrust. It had this sort of, moment-to-moment excitement. You also have to remember that, he was a very well-experienced player. A lot of people watched that Hogwarts Legacy gameplay, and they were like, I don't know, doesn't seem that challenging. I think you're on live chat. When I click live chat below the video, it takes me to the same thing. Yeah, it just keeps saying top chat up in the corner, though. Goddess says, you should try to put some of that into your TikTok live banner. It will display when you go live. I'm not sure what you mean. Put what in the banner? Like some of my sponsors? Witcher 3 proved that side quests can be interesting, but most long RPGs treat them like filler content. Right, like next to which, that's what I was thinking about. I was like, bro, 35 hours for the main story, and then another 35 hours to do all of the side quests. Like, that's a lot of content. I'm much more of a shorter gamer, but, says Cliffo, if the gameplay is good and the story is compelling to me, and it makes me care, I'll keep going. I do think that's something they're going to have to nail in Hogwarts Legacy. You're going to have to nail the story, or people aren't going to care. They're going to tap out really quick. Watching on my Sony TV. Hey, wherever y'all are watching, the more often you're here on YouTube, make sure you're logged in with your account and smashing like and all that so you get credit for being here. When people start gifting members, that's how you get gifted a member. It's based off of loyalty. And then you can be a part of like Friday night streams with my wife. Whenever I take a lunch break every day and hang out with people, you can keep watching as a member on YouTube. So consider that. Consider becoming a member if you can afford it. $5 a month gets you into all that extra content. And thank you for watching wherever you're watching. My overall playtime for The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt was around 452 hours. That's a lot of hours. Have they said anything about the content being different between the houses, imagining side quests could be locked to specific houses? They have not said anything specifically, so obviously you're going to get sorted like this, and then you're going to pick a house. You don't have to pick the house that you get sorted to. You can pick whatever you want. You can also use the Wizarding World website to get pre-sorted and link your account with WB. I got sorted into Slytherin, which is pretty exciting because I think it might have been Talica. Somebody predicted I would end up in Slytherin. Now, one of the leaker said that there would be minor differences depending on the house that you pick, but the story ends up in the same place every time. So it's not like if you pick Slytherin, your ending is going to be different. There's going to be different things along the way, right? What do I get with all the content you're mentioning? I have no idea. I don't know what you get. Right? I don't know. I mean, they've not necessarily said what you're going to get. Now, the Hogwarts Legacy leaks showed a character screen with 7 pieces of equipable gear, and a lot of that gear had like tier level color on it. So there's the likelihood that you're going to be maybe doing quests for gear that might be better, right? 7 pieces of gear. So a wand, gloves, face, headwear, neckwear, robe and cloak in your outfit. Now, I don't know if getting a new robe and cloak or a new pair of gloves is going to do anything for you, but there were colors on those items that looked like, you know how when you play an RPG and there's like green gear, blue gear, purple, and orange? It looked like that. It looked like there was different levels to the gear that the person had equipped. Do you think they might add co-op later? I would absolutely love that. I would play this game numerous times with my wife if it had co-op. Extremely disappointing that it doesn't have it. A lot of people are searching for Hogwarts Legacy crossplay, which is hilarious to me. It's almost like people assume they're going to be able to play with others. I literally saw that as a common search term for this game. People are out there looking for Hogwarts Legacy crossplay. I mean, what do you mean? They never announced that you could play with anybody. Please don't have a battle pass. We have a video coming later today about the S-Squad Kill the Justice League and that situation that's been sort of addressed by the devs. So that'll be an upload after today's stream. And then our second live stream today, this afternoon, will be about Forspoken. Right now, we're talking about Hogwarts Legacy. My producer, he's logged in on one of our other accounts, Reforge Rundown, which is a great upload channel if you prefer uploads versus live or you just want to support everything we do. But he's saying Hogwarts Legacy Online coming in spring 2024. He thinks there's going to be like a Hogwarts Legacy Online thing. Like later on, they're just going to make it, they're going to turn Hogwarts, the school, into a central hub. You'll have Quidditch. You'll have all these other things and all these other places that you can go. That's what he thinks. You can't earn the killing spell until very late in the game, says Mac. Plus, I really wish they would enable cross-save. One day, companies will learn that people will buy a game multiple times with cross-save. Yo, Pinoy Prince hitting 4 months as a member. What's up? 4 months. Let's go. I appreciate y'all. Great vids, great community. Over here on the TikTok, we got, about your channel. Yes, when people join, they can see what your channel's about. Oh, I'll probably consider doing that. I've not done much over here other than upload short-form content and go live. If this game were to come to co-op at some point, I'd wager that it would be anyone's top 5 games. They incorporated the rarity levels similar to Fortnite. It's awesome. Do we have confirmation about that, Rhett Mitchell? Do we have confirmation that they have an actual like tier level of loot, or are you just basing that off of what I said? I'm curious if we've seen confirmation of that anywhere. Growing up on Harry Potter, this makes me so happy how many hours you could pour into this game. Yeah, I think a lot of people are going to look forward to the fact that the Hogwarts Legacy game length is huge. If you guys missed my show open, I do like an opening monologue with all the information. 35 hours for the main story, 70 hours if you go for a completionist run. That's a lot. That is a lot. That is a lot of hours. There's an opportunity for 1v1 PvP duels? Yeah, maybe. Maybe. I would be way less interested in that. I would like to, I would like to do what they're doing here. You're commonly seeing in the gameplay that you have a companion with you. You're commonly walking around with somebody. Look at the size and scope of some of these areas as well. I think this game is beautiful. And then obviously here is what you're talking about. Maybe like 1v1 dueling could be a possibility. I continue to think that's not really what I and many others are looking for. Derek says, I think even if it has a middling progression upgrade skill tree and a mystery to the story, players are going to be hooked. I don't anticipate people quitting. I don't anticipate people quitting either. This is what will be interesting to me. How many non-Harry Potter fans are going to buy this game and be like, it's actually a good game. It's actually a good RPG. That's what I've been curious about. Because I kept telling people, I think the headlines for Hogwarts Legacy is going to be Hogwarts Legacy, surprisingly deep RPG. And the more they've talked about it and the more they've shown, I'm like, I think I'm right. I think I got that right. Like when they showed the Room of Requirement and all the customization. What did I keep saying when they showed the common rooms? What did I keep saying when they showed those rooms with all the different items? I was like, I hope that's not just window dressing. I hope you can actually impact them. And you can. You can literally customize them and move stuff and decorate them. I mean, they've incorporated simulation games, sim games. They've incorporated that into the game. That's going to be huge. If you've never been here before and you're just tuning in, by the way, you're probably a big Harry Potter fan looking forward to Hogwarts Legacy. Welcome into Reforge Gaming, a daily, highly interactive live talk show like this, and I am safe for work. So whenever I play the games, review the games, or talk to games like this with you, I do keep it safe for work. You can throw me on in the background of your day. A lot of people treat me like a radio show. Regardless of the topic, we're just here talking games. And they kind of lurk and listen like I'm some kind of a podcast. So make sure you hit subscribe and the bell button on my channel so you don't miss my content. Smash the like button as well. That helps more people find the show. New Animal Crossings, woohoo. Wait, there's a new Animal Crossing? Oh, are you talking about the Room of Requirement, how you can have like the different animals and stuff, Comfy Gamer? Is that what you're talking about? I was interested in that aspect. Not for me, but I'm really interested in like what other people end up doing. Like what do they end up doing with their rooms? What do they end up doing with their things? Now, somebody asked a little bit ago about like side quests for the different houses, and the leaker that brought us all this stuff, he said that the different houses will have different progression on individual main quests, but eventually they wrap up with the same result. So you will have a different experience if you pick a different house. Looks like there's gear rarity. All right, hang on a second. Barrier just found confirmation for gear rarity in a screenshot from one of the official videos. Let me show this to you. This is good. This is good information. Is this going to fit in the frame? Yeah, right above me. We got a nice screenshot here. There's the purple. Like I said, we saw blue, green, purple, and all that in one of the leaked leaked pieces of footage. Actually, no, it was leaked screenshots from an art book. So right above me, you can see Snowy Owl Scarf. It's extraordinary. That's its tier, right? And the scarf is your neckwear. That's one of the 7 pieces of gear that you can equip. And you can see it adds nothing to offense, but it does add 4 to defense, right? And then behind me, let me get out of the way. Let me move to the other side here. You can see that it says no trait applied, right? So there's a trait slot level, no trait applied, and then there's upgrades. So it looks like you can upgrade it. You can do a weave trait. Oh, wait, hang on. That's out of the frame. Let me do this, and let me see. Can I slide it? There, perfect. So you can see no trait applied, and then down below, it says, let me do this. Let's go full screen. And then let me change my cap card. There we go. Okay, so down here, Puffskein Fur is the trait requirements. So if I hold down the X button, I can weave a trait into this. Traits you have collected, right? No trait applied. And then I can do this one down here, and these are all the traits that I'm choosing from. So Protego Shielding, decrease damage taken from Dark Wizards, decrease damage from, Dug Bogs, decrease damage from Goblins. So there is this level of RPG, and you notice they put ones on them. I wonder, the one here, Protego Shielding 1, I wonder if you can get like better versions of each of these protections and shieldings, and they do different things. So that's pretty interesting that they have that. I mean, that's just on your scarf. Like, that's just on your scarf. Like, that's pretty crazy if you think about it. And if you guys haven't seen it yet, when the trailer resets, I'll let you guys see. I'll let this thing loop. You guys want to see the brand new trailer they released today? Is a cinematic 4K trailer just released today. That owl looks fantastic. Cinematics in this game are pretty awesome. So this is obviously everybody's dream growing up reading Harry Potter, to have one of these owls show up to your house. Yeah, there's no beards in the game. You're awfully young. There was concept art of this room, the Great Hall, having Christmas decorations up. So the Christmas may take place in the game. Again, there could be a live event. There could be live service elements once you're done with the game. The thing that I would tell people that are concerned about live service elements is, if you get a story that's 35 hours long and side quests and completionist run that takes you to a total of 70 hours, I don't think you can complain about live service. You can completely ignore live service if you want. You can say, yeah, I don't care. I'm not going to do the live service stuff. Now, that was an interesting shot, right? You got three wizard. No, you have a wizard protecting citizens. Never mind. It looked like a wizard protecting some mudbloods there. Some muggles. He drops it. There you go. Come on. That's pretty cool. I think the graphics are pretty good in these cinematics. There you go. So that's the brand new trailer that they dropped today. Now listen. Here's the thing. Like I was saying, if you're concerned about live service, battle passes, live events, like suddenly Hogwarts is, decorated with Christmas, right? If you got to enjoy a 35-hour story, a 70-hour completionist run, and then you do multiple houses, maybe you do a second, third, and fourth run through from the game, I literally don't think you can complain about... I don't think you can complain about live service. I don't. Live service equals microtransactions? No, not necessarily. They've in fact said there'll be no microtransactions in the game. And live service does not automatically equal live service does not automatically equal microtransactions. There are plenty of games that have ongoing support, ongoing content, and there are not teeny little microtransactions. Now, microtransactions are not automatically the devil either. I think you can do microtransactions in a good way, right? What examples do you have? No Man's Sky, Diablo 3. Like, there are plenty of games that do ongoing. There's also plenty of games that do ongoing and their microtransactions are totally fine. There are ongoing games where the microtransactions are totally fine. Destiny 2 would be one. What was the other one I was going to list? Path of Exile. I don't think you have a bunch of live service games. Like, yeah, here we go again. Like, I'm going to talk about that in my upload today about the S-Squad kills the Justice League. It's like, call out the bad practices. Don't label everything bad if they just happen to do micros or live service. But they do have microtransactions. Right, there are some that do live service without microtransactions. There are some that do live service with them. It's not a matter of whether or not microtransactions are good or bad automatically. Thank you for the $5 tip, DJ Steph. So can we get one shot by the AK spell? I'm not sure if Avada Kedavra can kill you. I mean, maybe. I'm not sure. Somebody on a Discord of mine said the character tab is similar to the Assassin's Creed character tab. It is. I said that in my show open. That is actually true. That you will find similarities there. Immortals Phoenix Rising would be another game that I would say that the character tab looked like, right? I don't think the NPCs can cast Avada Kedavra. Well, they show them doing it in this trailer, right? The They're trying to shoot down the owl, and I think there may be footage of Avada Kedavra showing up. It's just the green cast, right? Isn't it just the green cast? Or are all the bad spells green? I think at one point when they showed the guy doing the duel, that he did red and the other guy did green. Okay, so they're all doing green right there. And then in this other trailer, there's somewhere in this other trailer where he does there's somewhere in this other trailer where he does red and the other guy does green. Green is not all Avada Kedavra. Okay. I'm pretty sure on the PS5 and the Series X it'll run well, but the Series S, the Xbox One and the PS4 are going to struggle, hence the delay. Yeah, but they're not delaying it on the Series S. Cosmetic micros are fine. I would even say that the quality of life micros are fine. If a micro shop is required to get even more gameplay and more Hogwarts, I'm 100% here for it. Right, like, again, you can't just jump to the conclusion that live service is bad. Wait, so is live service just not abandoning the game then? I mean, live service is literally sometimes that. Yes, this is why you shouldn't just automatically assume live service is terrible. There are times where live service can be great. They have optional cosmetics, and they have a battle pass. And guess what? The world that you loved and experienced continues on and has more content for you to do, right? I don't know why people get so mad about micros. You don't have to buy them. That's what I was saying. It's an add-on, right? It's optional. Exactly. Somebody over here on the TikTok saying that. Like, listen to me. Listen for just a second. From what we know right now, the Hogwarts Legacy new leaks that we got, 35-hour story, 70 hours if you go completionist. If they decide to do an ongoing content model or DLC or season passes, that doesn't matter. You got your money's worth. Why would you care? What would it do? Like, what would it do to your experience? So let's just imagine you play through the game 2 or 3 times, 2 or 3 different runs, one with Slytherin, one with Ravenclaw. You're having a good time. And then 6 months down the road, they say, we are announcing our ongoing roadmap for Hogwarts Legacy. We have a Hogwarts Legacy roadmap. We've got more content coming. We're going to start to do live events and season passes. Hogwarts as a school is going to become a central hub for an ongoing game. If you're like, I don't like that, you know what's so amazing? You don't have to touch any of it. You can just keep doing what you're doing. You could do a couple more playthroughs or just be satisfied with the fact that you paid full price for a game and got an amazing amount of gameplay and value out of it. Do you know what I'm saying? I don't understand. At this point, I have full confidence that you're going to get your money's worth out of this game from everything we've seen and heard. And then if they decide to go ongoing or battle passes or micros, which they've said no microtransactions. They have Christmas and Halloween icons in the room of requirement. This hints towards holiday events. Yeah, exactly. Or just those things could happen throughout the story because they did show the outer grounds having snow on them. Exactly. You don't have to do those events. It's another aspect of it. You're not having to. Exactly. Precisely. Completely right. Fall Guys is doing good. Typically, the objection to microtransactions, says Slay Puffed, or live service, is because most games that have those practices follow a very similar pattern of development that is geared towards money extraction first. What successful live service games are doing that right now? And gameplay second? What? Where is the pattern in the market for successful live service games doing that? I want you to make that case, because I don't see it. The games that are successful with ongoing live service literally don't do that. They do the opposite of that. Which, by the way, I think combat in this game is going to be pretty fun. Look at this scene right here. Look at that. That's going to be a fun fight, I bet. That guy looks tough. That guy looks pretty tough. Wow, all the best skins are in the shop. Whether or not a skin is good or bad is subjective. That's not something that can be argued objectively. Bro, really defending microtransactions? What's wrong with microtransactions? Can you establish what's universally wrong with microtransactions? Or do you just speak in like platitudinous game speak, like gamer lingo? Establish why microtransactions are bad. Why are they bad? I've not seen a compelling case for why they're bad. They enable games to continue to go on and for people to continue to enjoy them. Like, all of the games that do like the $60 once and then never any money again, do you know what they're prone to? Cheesy pre-order bonuses, half-baked games, games that were rushed to market because they're trying to get you to buy the game at full price. I can play the same game that you're playing. Games without microtransactions have a clear pattern of being rushed to market, being half-baked, using cheesy pre-order bonuses, and not being good complete games. So, I mean, I could argue anecdotally and say, yeah, the absence of microtransactions is actually a bad thing. I'm not saying that's a compelling argument. Have they seen Fallout 76? Fallout 76 was rough, but again, Fallout 76 was rough because it was rushed to market like so many other games. It wasn't necessarily rough because they tried to do live service. Halo Infinite's a huge example. Halo Infinite is a far better example of a poorly managed game that was rushed to market when it wasn't ready. Like, Halo Infinite, if all Halo Infinite had to do was mimic what like Fortnite, Apex, and Call of Duty Warzone do with their seasons, and Halo Infinite would have been praised. Literally, the funny thing is that Halo Infinite's bad because it failed to be a good live service games. Look at the live service games in its field that are crushing it, and you look silly. Like, look at Fortnite, look at Apex, look at Call of Duty Warzone. Look at their format for micros, for battle passes. Look at their player engagement. Look at their community satisfaction. I mean, maybe don't look at Call of Duty right now, but look at Apex and look at Fortnite historically. Halo Infinite failed to reach like the bare minimum of a good live service game. So your indictment of live service games is not adequate. You're not making a compelling case. You're pointing to games that are just bad games. Like, that's not compelling at all. As I said, the pattern in the market is successful ongoing live service games don't do any of the things that you're talking about. They don't prioritize extracting money from you first and gameplay suffers. They don't do that. And if they do, they're not going to be a successful live service games. Doesn't God of War Ragnarok have pre-order bonuses? Yeah, are you making a compelling point, or are you just drawing a false equivalency to what I was trying to say? I wasn't saying that all pre-order bonuses are bad. I was saying that there's a common theme within games that launch without microtransactions. They primarily focus on getting all of your money up front, and then the game launches and it's not ready. That's a pattern in the market. If you can't see that pattern in the market, you haven't been paying attention to the last decade of video game launches. That's what I mean. That doesn't make pre-order bonuses universally bad. Microtransactions are not universally bad. Battle passes and live service are not universally bad. They're not. No one's made a compelling case yet. You just pointed to games that were bad. That's not a compelling case. With gamers' concerns about microtransactions in a premium game, Diablo 3 had a number of microtransactions. I was able to finish the entire game without any of the paywall encountered. Yeah, I think people need to do more research into the cost of game development and the scope and size of games like this. You're thinking too unidimensionally. You think every game should be this, build it and ship it for $60 and then never talk to me again, right? Like, never talk to me again. That's all I want you to do. And if you do anything beyond that, it's scummy, it's a cash grab. All you're trying to do is take advantage of the player, and gameplay will suffer, and the content's going to get thinned out, and it's like, okay, so every game is supposed to fit into that happy little format that you think is ideal and is the best. So turn the entire gaming industry into a very unidimensional, one-dimensional delivery of content. Full-price games with no additive content, no microtransactions, no ongoing live support. That's it. With respect, that's stupid. Like, that's just a stupid view. That's not how things work. Like, you can have a cascade. You can have an entire canvas of different styles of content delivery formats. You can do that. I don't think it's that big of a deal. I think people create, the boogeyman in a lot of these scenarios. Is it true that Starfield's delayed? I mean, we'll have an upload about that over on our upload channel. I'm not covering that here today because we literally just covered that the other day. There is a recent update from Maddie Plays. We're covering that on the Reforge Rundown. That's why you should be subscribed to all three channels, especially if you're a fan of Diablo. We got 3 channels for you now. This channel, Rundown, and the Reforge Dungeon. I got a video coming, I believe, today about should you skip the story in Diablo 4. Funny how we complain about microtransactions and in sports games are astronomically the worst, so we should just be happy with it and make sure they don't go overboard. I don't have any problem with microtransactions if it supports a healthy gaming ecosystem, community, and the skins are aesthetically appealing to me. Right. This guy must have a hard-on when his phone company sends him hidden fees. You must have the inability to engage in an intellectual discussion as you use some sort of juvenile colloquialism about something with respect to whether or not I get excited about being charged more money. You're not even entering the landscape of discussion. You probably lack the intellectual ability too, so you're just entering into some sort of like, I don't know, what is that, like 13-year-old vocabulary joking and jesting? Like, get on the landscape of the discussion or get the frick out. Like, either get into the discussion like an adult or go somewhere else. I don't know, go find a Fortnite stream or something. Can we just attack random students? I don't think you can attack random students, no. Like, defending different monetization structures doesn't mean I'm okay with hidden fees or hiding things from the public or the consumer. Like, I called out the gacha mechanics that are potentially going to be in Blue Protocol. I called out the bad microtransaction practices in Diablo Immortal. In fact, I had 2 very successful Diablo Immortal streams with over 20,000 views each, and I stopped streaming that game because on principle, I didn't want to support a game with bad microtransaction practices because that takes thought and nuance, right? I analyzed the game, came to conclusions about its practices, and I decided I'm not going to cover it. I considered it. I waited. I said, maybe I could play Diablo Immortal and just be a free-to-play player. And I was like, no, I can't do that. On principle, I will no longer cover Diablo Immortal. But instead, you want me to just, like, say all microtransactions are bad? Will that make your fifis feel better? Like, to have your weird, like, tribalistic Neanderthalic view of the world affirmed by a stranger on the internet? Like, does that make your emotions feel better to have me affirm your very simplistic view of the topic? Like, microtransactions are not universally bad. I know that's upsetting to a simplistic view of the world, but expand your horizons. Expand your view of the topic. There are plenty of games that do Battle Pass live service and microtransactions. They do it totally fine. It's a live service. Immortal was just trying to survive and make a little money. Trying to survive? What do you mean trying to survive? Is economically crushing it, especially once it landed in markets outside the West. What about if you kill a random student? I don't think you can kill random students. I don't think that's an option in the game. There's no morality in the game, by the way, but I don't think you can just, like, walk around Hogwarts and start killing students. Microtransactions are often the company's way of extracting max value from the consumer in exchange for the least value offered, particularly at launch. I've not seen that evidence in the market, at least not successfully. I've not seen that evidence in the market. I don't see anybody successfully doing that, extracting maximum value from the consumer while delivering paltry offerings. What games have done that successfully? The games that have tried to do it have failed miserably. Games that launch incomplete, games that launch bland, games that launch lacking, content or ongoing model or good support, they fail. Like, the market's not supporting it. The market's not supporting what you're claiming is a standard. I don't see it. What about Madden? Okay, yes, you can go to the sports games and say, these are standards that we're seeing. In sports games, sure. No doubt in my mind, there is a willing consumer base supporting that in sports games. But generally speaking, across the board, games that do micros, games that do live service are not doing the things that people in chat are asserting. It's just platitudinous, simplistic dialogue about it. It's just reductionism. It's just very simplistic, like summary statements. You're just speaking in platitudinous expressions. This is the brand new trailer from today, by the way. So, like, if Hogwarts Legacy decided to do any of those things, it's not a matter of being like, that's it, game's ruined. No, you would look at the individual practices and say, did they do tasteful ongoing content ads? Did they do good microtransactions or bad microtransactions? You're talking about a game that we just today, the Hogwarts Legacy leaks are pointing to a campaign that is 35 hours long. If you go completionist run, it's 70 hours long. You also have the potential of 4 total playthroughs with the 4 different houses. So being worried about microtransactions or additive content or ongoing content doesn't make any sense to me. As long as a single game does astronomically well, offering live service and microtransactions, more and more studios will continue to do this. They will have to because of the shareholders and fiduciary responsibility. Having a fiduciary responsibility to their shareholders does not necessarily mean they must do live service micros or scummy practices. It's all about risk assessment, homie. You are correct. They're going to weigh it and say, we have a fiduciary duty to our shareholders to maximize profits, but that doesn't mean they're going to do practices. Some of the practices you guys are talking about have harmed the launches of games. A lot of these games, a lot of these practices you're referring to haven't gone well for the people that have tried it. It hasn't. Do you understand what I'm saying? Before microtransactions, profitability was often more closely tied to a game's quality and value to the player. Now profitability is more about FOMO and tweaking knobs in the brain to get us to spend. I think that's unsubstantiated. I think what's easier to substantiate, Team November, is that profitability was not linked to the game's quality and value. Profitability of a game was linked to overhyping it with trailers, misleading the public, getting them to pre-order, and maximizing the first 2 weeks of sales. Which do you think leads to healthier practices? An ongoing revenue stream model so a game can be supported, improved, and tweaked long term, or the waterfall model of hype, pre-order, and then we get the game and it's nothing like what they promised, which that was typical for games prior to ongoing models, microtransactions, and live service ideas about we can subsidize and support this game ongoing. Which do you think is better? Like, it's not that like one leads to the detriment of games. They both have their own pitfalls. I think ongoing monetization, subsidization models are more healthy because game development and the scope of games and the projects themselves are getting so large, I don't think you can continue to do the old way of doing things. Build, ship. Hopefully we make all our money back. If we don't, then I don't know what's going to happen. Like, if you read any of the books or any of the research on how the margins for these projects were razor thin, I don't think that was a sustainable business model. There were industry analysis saying, they were like, this is not a sustainable model. You can't keep doing this. The cost of games has gone way up. You're not going to make enough on that first week of sales. It's not feasible because the cost of games didn't rise with inflation and the cost of the projects continued to bloat out. You're absolutely right. I think that is what people wish was not true. That's what I'm saying. Like, that cycle had to come to an end. I'll let you guys see the trailer again. This is the brand new trailer from today. I'll let it loop. That cycle had to end. Now, what that doesn't mean, hear me say this, I'm not saying like microtransactions and live service is the savior of gaming, but there had to be another business model to allow games of a certain size and a certain type to survive. If you want a game to be playable and enjoyable 2 months, 3 months after launch, you need something subsidizing that. That's a business reality. Like, quit with the doe-eyed, dumb sentimentality about video games. Like, you look like a little doe-eyed cartoon character. Like, all we need are big games and no micros. Like, stop that. Like, think about it from a business perspective. Elevate your sort of ideas about this. Like, get out of this simplistic view of it. It's a business reality. You cannot have games of a certain type surviving off of the first 2 weeks of sales. It's not possible. And then what are they supposed to do? So many people look at planned DLC and they claim the same thing. They're like, planned DLC is scummy. Wait. What? What do you mean planned DLC is scummy? So they're only supposed to bank on the first couple of weeks of money and then immediately move on to another project? Yeah, we're done with that game. 5 years to build it. We shipped it. 2 weeks is where we make most of our money in the first 2 weeks of sales. We can't have any planned DLC because that's scummy. We can't have any microtransactions because that's scummy. Can't do live service or battle passes or ongoing content models because that's scummy. So time to move on to the next project. Time to go get a bunch of more money from a publisher and get our next project backed. Like, what in the world? AOZ was 6 months of membership. Nice milestone. Game live services need quality for people to continually buy in, like Final Fantasy. Saying standalone purchases game needs higher quality is nonsense. Member up, best show on YouTube. Thank you, my man. I appreciate that. Guys, we've already gotten 5 members today on the member goal. If this hits 25, I have to give 5 back. Consider becoming a member if you're enjoying the dialogue, the banter, and the back and forth. We have passionate discussions, but we keep it respectful. You know, I keep it safe for work. Make sure you're subscribed to my channel here on YouTube. Make sure you're following over on the TikTok, and you're smashing the like button over here. 4,000 likes over there, and over here on YouTube, almost 800 viewers. We should easily have 400 likes. Make sure you're smashing that button. It helps more people find the video. They need new content to keep people happy. Derek says planned. Well-planned DLC is the best. A full extra add-on on top of the quality is exactly what I want when finishing an awesome game. Did he say the actual name? We say TikTok. I don't like saying the full name of that platform over there. Every game should spend $30 million in 4 years to count on 5 weeks of its release, Lono. Get real, man. You're crushing the world's view of gaming. Like, listen to what my producer just said. Like, think about that. Every game should have, like, a millions and millions of dollar budget, spend 4 to 5 years, and count on making it all back in 5 weeks. Like, it's not sustainable, man. It isn't. This guy got bought. It's always funny to me when someone who's clearly never been here wants to make a drive-by comment and take a swipe at my integrity. Why don't you grow up? Are you that insecure? Oh no. Someone's saying something. Thank you for the flame over here on TikTok. Someone's saying something that doesn't line up with my view. Well, I'm going to resort to an infantile reaction, and I'm going to insult the person. Like, how old are you? You hear something that doesn't line up with your view, and you resort to, like, what children do, which is to take a swipe at the person. You know, call me a name next. Like, call me something, please. Like, complete the circle. Let us all know your intellectual capacity, please. Before I purchase a game, I like to know if they plan to make DLCs for it or not. No DLCs, I'll wait for the game to go on sale to get it as cheap as I can. With DLCs, I usually buy it right away. You're defending microtransactions because you've been conditioned. Oh, I've been conditioned. This is wonderfully condescending. Like, explain to me why I've formulated this opinion. Sure. I wouldn't be surprised if in 10 years people defend NFTs. You get used to a greedy system, and they will defend it for you. See, what's hilarious to me is you're totally and obviously unfamiliar with my content, because when it comes to bad microtransaction processes and practices, I call them out and I call them terrible. I refuse to cover certain games because of it. We've literally wiped games off of our dry erase board of planned content because I'm like, I don't want to cover that game, right? I don't want to cover a game that has bad, scummy microtransaction practices. So to say I've been conditioned is just condescending. Like, to act as if I didn't formulate this opinion based on research, market analysis, looking at what actually works and what doesn't work, looking at the practices of the industry. Like, you've been conditioned then. Like, to just want big budget, full price games with no ongoing microtransactions, you've been conditioned to think that's good. Like, that doesn't argue anything. If you get people used to a greedy system, they will defend it for you when people offer change. That's simply untrue. You haven't substantiated a couple of your premises, so your logic's a little faulty. You have to establish that microtransactions are greedy. You have to establish that. You haven't established that. You haven't established that going with an ongoing content model. Thank you so much for sending some more stuff over here. Prince Mosey Official sent some stuff over here. I'm sorry I didn't see that. You have to establish that in order for your premise to stand. Establish that microtransactions are greedy. And then you have to establish that greed and seeking profit is bad. And once you substantiate that premise, you've demolished every single business practice in existence, as well as fiduciary duties to shareholders. You don't have a coherent point. You don't have a coherent point, because even if you somehow figure out a way to establish in a compelling way that microtransactions are greedy, then we have to say, is greed wrong? What you're doing is you're injecting an ethical and moral, imperative into the discussion. You're trying to formulate an ethical and moral imperative into business practice. Businesses seeking to maximize profit is not moral or ethical unless it comes to the treatment of people. Like if people are treated poorly, like if they're, chained to the desk, if they're forced to do, terrible things, if they're not paid appropriately, like if they're ripped off by, the company or whatever, or if their contract is got things baked into it that are illegal, right? So if a company is saying, this project's going to cost this much money, we want to maximize profit on it, so that way we honor our fiduciary duty to our shareholders, and that way we can invest in future projects, that is quite literally what every single business does. Some of you guys just dead honest give it away that you've never made it beyond low-level employee status at a company. The minute you even get into a management position at a company, you start to get a grip on the fact that every single business in existence does this. They analyze what it takes to make things run, and they maximize profit. They quite literally have to. But the doe-eyed sentimentality about the world is, well, profit is evil because I read a compelling tweet from somebody and these companies are just greedy. Well, that's just platitudinous and reductionist. It's not based on anything in reality. It's just this ideological view of business. Well, companies shouldn't care about profit. Great, then all of their employees will lose their jobs and they'll shutter and shut down. You know what I'm saying? This dude is waffling so hard. Go Google waffling and then come back. Right? I know it might be hard to use dictionary.com. Maybe you don't know how to spell it, but go Google what the definition for waffling is and then maybe come back. What have I waffled on? Establish your position rather than asserting an insult. Games have cost $60 to $70 since around 2002. If you adjust for inflation, they should cost around $100. That's what I'm saying, right? That's what I'm saying. If you look at the format, right, of what they were doing, it's not surprising at all that it stopped working. Big budgets, price of games not moving, bigger staff required, bigger development bandwidth required, longer timeline to shipping a game, and then what? We got to make it all back. We got to make all the money back in 2 or 3 years. If you look at any of the research into this, if you look at any of the analysis of the market probably 5 or 10 years ago, everybody was saying the same thing. They were saying, this isn't sustainable. The garden variety game development cycle was go to a publisher, get a massive, massive amount of money, okay? Get a massive amount of money, and then what you need to do is build the game within 4 to 5 years, and then ship the game, sell it at full price, do everything you can to get pre-orders, and then you've got to move on to the next project because now you've got to take everything that you earned from it. And the margins were razor thin. So multiple companies were shutting down back then because they couldn't make profit. The budgets for the games were getting too high, too large to make back their money. The guy just made up cost. Games have not cost 60 to 70 since 2002. Yes, they have. We've literally researched this. Video games and cartridges, when I was buying Super Nintendo cartridges, you can go back to the 90s. Video games were between $60 and $80. Video games back when I was buying cartridges for my Nintendo were literally between $60 and $80. And if you account for inflation, that means we were basically spending between $100 to $120 on games back then. That's what it was equal to. That's what it was equal to. It was very expensive. It was a very expensive hobby back then. Now you had plastic costs for cartridges, you had shipping costs, right? And now you sell to a much higher quantity of consumer base, right? I just Googled it was $49. Okay, well, confirmation bias is wonderful. We did extensive research on this. What you're saying is false. Every single game back then did not cost $50. That is simply untrue. You need to do more extensive research than doing one Google search and using confirmation bias to find something that confirms the point that you already made a priori before coming to the conversation. Games are cheaper now. The other thing you have to consider is, Raijin, thank you for 16 months and for doing VIP. Yeah, you also got a nice instruction manual. The other thing you have to consider is just compare the fact that like The Legend of Zelda A Link to the Past was roughly $60 or $70 at the time of purchase. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild was $60 at the time of purchase. And compare the games in substance and size and playability. How many hours did you get out of The Legend of Zelda A Link to the Past compared to The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild? It's not even comparable. You're spending less money for more games, right? I'm 43. I've been a gamer since 85. It's not confirmation bias. Yes, it is. I'm 41. I've been gaming since the original Nintendo, actually since before that with the Coleco. And we literally have advertisements, old magazine clippings, and any research you do into this will show you that cartridges back then cost anywhere from $60 upwards to $80. $60 to $80. What you're saying is simply untrue. Games were not always $50 back then. That is simply not true. Do you want to see a Toys R Us ad? You know, I mean, maybe you were constantly going to a store that was selling things used, aftermarket, or who knows what. Here you go. Here's a Toys R Us ad. All right, 70, 60, 60, 40, 70, 60, 40, 70. Look at the price variance. Up to $70 for video games back then, especially when you had big games like the one up here. That's a Street Fighter game, and then you had NBA Hang Time here for $70. It's probably a licensing deal that caused that. Now, Donkey Kong Country had been discounted down to like $52. Now, that's after coupon, it says. So there you go. Games were very expensive back in the day. They were, as I said, they were between $60 and sometimes upwards to $80. We've found some advertisements from back then where some games were $80. You had more expensive packaging. You had more expensive material costs for the cartridge. And the games did not even have remotely close to the density and the longevity of games that we get now, right? Well, is somebody trying to bring this up over here? Hang on. Normalize separating content from the content creator. Wrong. Let me see this guy. It's free, not sport. Yeah, you know what's also free? Is to not listen to idiots like you. Bye. Mute account for the entire live. Yeah. Go to Twitter where your momentary faux activism gets a couple of clicks for a day with your selective morality as you use TikTok. Like, imagine trying to wax righteous while using TikTok on a mobile device. Unbelievable. Compare the profit of Ocarina of Time to Breath of the Wild. I'd be interested to see how that changes the discussion on the cost of games. Right, Slay Puffed. I made allowances for that. Think about it from this perspective. Now, the reason we're discussing this, for the people that are tuning in, we're discussing Hogwarts Legacy. The Hogwarts Legacy new leaks are pointing to a game length of 35 hours for the main story, 70 hours for being completionist, right? Okay, that's a big game. And I was pushing back on people being worried about if they do any additive content, if they do any live service content model long term. So we're debating on whether or not that should happen. Now, what we're talking about now is cost of games, the budgets, and the bandwidth getting far larger, okay? I made allowances for the fact that, yes, the quantity of sales is very different, right? Quantity of sales is very different. Hey, our first order of coffee, 3 bags of Frickmas to Leal Duck. That's our first order of coffee. Who wants to be the next member? We're 20 away from the daily goal. We haven't missed this goal since like mid-November. Let's keep that streak going. Let's reward some of the people that are here hanging out, being loyal. And let's hit 400 likes on the YouTube video. We just hit 5,000 likes over on the TikTok. So I will make allowances for the fact that the quantity of sales is far greater now. Like, look at the system saturation for the Nintendo Switch and consider how many of those people potentially bought Breath of the Wild. It's astronomically higher than how many copies they sold of The Legend of Zelda Link to the Past. It's not even a comparable thing, right? It's a Leviathan-like comparison. That helped stay the tide. The increase in the quantity of sales helped stay the tide so that video games did not have to align themselves with inflation. That's a fact. That's readily acceptable. However, the market saturation of video games started to fold in on itself. There are way more video games to buy. There are way more games that you can play now and buy, which means some games don't get a crazy awesome quantity of sales. They get overshadowed by the big dogs, which means that big, huge budget, that big, massive scope of the project, they have a more difficult time recouping that cost. Which means games of a certain type needed to come up with different monetization practices and subsidization practices to keep their games going and to have those games be supported. Like, you have to see, this is not as simple as every game, like, back in the day, I paid for the game once, and I got a complete game. Yeah, Super Nintendo games cost you anywhere from $60 to $80, which was roughly, according to inflation, that's roughly $100 to $120 back then. That's how much it was. That was big. Going to the store and buying a game was like dropping $100-something bucks on something. That was expensive. It was an expensive hobby. And the size and scope of those games are like what? Like, take The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. That's like a DLC on an indie title these days. I can play indie titles for $20 that have the size and the depth and the play length of The Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past. So you got to look at it that way. You got to say, wait a minute. These games back then, yes, you spent that much money, and yes, it was a complete game, but they were significantly smaller in scope and size. So when you want really big, awesome games like this with huge open worlds, all these missions, all these storylines, amazing amount of dialogue, like just the number of dialogue lines in a game like this, back then, it would have blown our mind. We're like, oh my gosh, how did they manage to do that? It has enough dialogue lines that if you added them all up would equal like what? Probably like 3 or 4 movies? Well, if we want all of those things, there's got to be other ways to support that than just the initial purchase. Why do you think they're pushing so hard to have deluxe edition sales of Hogwarts Legacy and pre-order bonuses and collector's editions? Look at the marketing they've put behind this game. For the record, I got hundreds of hours out of that game because I sucked. Yeah, I was talking about that with my Korean friend. We were talking about like different video games, you know, and things that he saw growing up in Korea. And I said that games were just very different back then because he got one of those little mini Nintendos and they're playing some of the old games. I'm like, those old games are hard. And that's where the longevity came from. A lot of the replay value from those old games was like quite literally influenced by pachinko, pinball, and arcade games. The idea of, we'll make more money from this person if they keep failing and dying. And that influenced early game development that arrived in the home. Longevity came from difficulty. Hogwarts Legacy is going to be a wonderful game. Not to mention the cost of voice actors. Yeah, cost of voice actors. Somebody says, do you think they'll add multiplayer? I think I already answered that. I would love to see them add it later, yes. Hogwarts doesn't need those things for success, so it's not a good example of a game needing to find a different way to generate revenue. We don't know that, Eugene. We don't know what kind of licensing they have to pay. We don't know what kind of royalty share they have to pay. We don't know what level of marketing, what was the marketing budget alone, right? You're probably correct. It's likely that you're right. It is. It's likely that you're correct, and they're going to make like buckets of cash. My defense of Hogwarts Legacy doing it was, at this point, okay, at this point, if this game decides to do any ongoing content, right, you get your worth out of it. Hogwarts Legacy is going to flop. It's like broken every pre-order record on Steam. Sure. Sure, it's going to flop. Like the first Harry Potter game in a really long time, and it's gonna flop. It's like the most pre-ordered game out there right now. It'll probably be the biggest commercial success this year, next to only Diablo 4. I only think Diablo 4 will rival it. Yo, David Riddick, our first new member of the day. We had 5 gifted members, but that's a new member, taking our member goal count to 6. David Riddick, thank you so much, guys. Could we see some other people jump in on their own, right? Let's see it. I want you guys to rival the people that gift. Jump in on your own. Click the $sign at the bottom of chat. Click the join button. It's $5. Sometimes you get a discount on your first membership. You get into my Discord. I do a lunch break every day with members. I do Friday night streams with my wife. It's so much fun. Become a member on this channel. I know a lot of people on YouTube are like, why is this guy asking for money? Well, you haven't seen an advertisement for the last hour, have you? That's why. We do live streams with like no ad breaks. Now, if you come back and watch the VOD later, there's ads, but it doesn't disrupt the show because it's no longer live. It's a past broadcast. You hope it does flop? Cool. Cool. I hope it does incredibly well so it shuts everybody up who thinks like momentary virtue signaling and convenient morality makes them feel better about themselves. Silent Shadow hitting half a year, 6 months, and it's a VIP. And a whole year from Moody, thanks for jumping back in. And the Slickness jumping back in at 3 months. Look at how many people are renewing their memberships. It's a great time to jump in. If you refresh the stream, you'll get an ad before. Yeah, but how many people are doing that? I run a long-form show. You come in and can sit here for a couple of hours and not see a single ad. Like, that's the point. Like, I could run one right now. I could disrupt the show constantly. Every 30 minutes, bing. Every 30 minutes, bing, right? Sorry, but it's not virtue signaling. Okay, well, I don't have the patience or the time to explain to you why it's a juvenile view that person has anything to do with this. I just don't have time to explain that to you. I really, really don't. I'm sorry. I don't want anybody to feel hurt, but I just can't entertain the lack of intellectual honesty. Can't do it. I don't have patience for it. Find somebody that cares about that. I don't. I care about you as a person, but I don't care about that subject at all. It's so intellectually bankrupt. I'm here for the Hogwarts content, but I stay for the compelling, and I'll stick around. Great so far. Well, thank you. I appreciate that so much. If you want to see a game fail, at least have a legit reason. You're absolutely correct. The share they will have to pay for the license is huge. One of the most popular IPs of all time. Imagine the leverage of the rights holder. Right. Yeah. Infinite was 7 months. Thank you so much. That's a VIP. Listening to the talks is always a blast. Thanks for doing what you do. Thank you so much. How does licensing in the game work if the IP holder and the developer are the same company? Well, because, okay, so the developer is not the same company. The developer is Avalanche. So the IP holder licenses out for them to sell it, which means more than likely the bulk of the money is going to go to the IP holder as well as any royalty share with anybody attached to it. There's also all the voice actors that were paid, right? That's not a legit reason. No, it's not a legit reason because people use that word in a false and intellectually bankrupt way. You throw that word around all you want. It only gets traction on Twitter where the interactions and the discourse are thoughtless. Anybody with any education in philosophy or morality finds that whole debate just to be incredibly childish. Yeah, it's not a worry about them making money, right? It's not a worry about them not making money. And that wasn't anything that I was indicating. My argument in favor of, hey, the ongoing potential of content in Hogwarts Legacy is totally fine. Because if you're going to get a 35-hour story and a 70-hour completionist run, if they decide to do additive content later, Battle Pass, Season Pass, that's fine. That doesn't affect you. You had a great experience. You got a full, awesome experience. Yo, Joe Vivian, thanks for jumping back in as a VIP. And no, saying that is not that word. That is merely a violent way to impose your morality on another person. That's the grand irony. Keep doing it. It won't win you any friends or allies. I think the fact that the game market is dominated at the top end by large IPs is why so many smaller devs are going free-to-play model with microtransactions. That's exactly what I indicated earlier. It was like, bro, the market is so saturated. Sure, you can make a ton of quantity of sales compared to what you used to make, but it's also a whole lot harder to get people's attention about your game, right? It's really hard to get people's attention about your game now. It's like, well, my gosh, there's so many games out there. What morality is that exactly? Yours, defined by you, not defined by truth or anything other than that. It's subjective to what you think is true. You know what I mean? You know what I'm saying? Let's do this, actually. I'll tell you what. Mute and mute. I don't like interacting with people like you. Research the company that made the device you're typing on and see how righteous you are. Research the company that owns the software that you're using. Your selective morality is funny. The game is going to be one of the most successful games of 2023 and potentially get nominated for Game of the Year. This game is not going to flop. No, it's not going to flop. It isn't. Like, my defense of ongoing content, like if they decide to do live service, if they decide to do DLC, they decide to do a season pass, right? That shouldn't affect you at all if you're against it, right? If you're against that, then that shouldn't affect you. You can buy this game at full price, and you can get a ton of value out of it, and then you can walk away. You see what I'm saying? Like, you don't have to be against ongoing content, ongoing DLC, or live service. You know what I'm saying? Yo, my man Slay Puffed. Oh my gosh, that's a big one. That's a big one. VIP Gold? Jiminy Christmas. I'm gonna mark that down as 2. I'm bumping us to 8. That's a big, big membership. That puts us at 8 out of 25 for the day. My man Slay Puff jumping in. That's a big membership. A lot of people already today becoming members. Thank you so much, Slay Puff, for jumping in. If you guys do a member plus or higher, I periodically do uploads just for you. All members get into the live streams that are for members, but I did like a studio tour for member plus and up as a way to say thanks for doing a little bit higher. Ongoing content is the reason that I've been playing Destiny since the day it released. That's what I'm saying. Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, the ongoing content models can be great, right? Listen, I especially think they can be great if the base game is solid, right? Been enjoying the gaming discussions the last few days. Appreciate it. I appreciate all of the new folks that have been hanging out. I really do. If you've been one of the folks hanging out on either platform, whether you're over on the mobile platform or you're over here on YouTube, man, thank you so much for doing that. Thanks for smashing the likes and the follows and the subs. Greatly appreciate it. I really, really do. The hang on. Do that and do, hang on. How do you click on the actual person? It's not, do I click on their icon? Oh, I click on their words. There we go. That's the trick. When do people find about the people who created this TikTok? Right? Exactly. Imagine arguing. Imagine debating from some moral high ground on TikTok. Zero self-awareness. You know what else Lono has? Amazing coffee. Thank you. Look at Borderlands 2. We had this discussion a while ago about Project LLL, which is a potential live service game coming out, right? Like with similarities to like the Division and Destiny. And one of the things that Eugene said was build a good game first, then do live service, right? I disagree with that at some level. But at other levels, I'm like, no, I actually think that could work in a game like this. I think it could work. You take the time to build this amazing game. You take the time to build this amazing hub of the School of Hogwarts, right? And then you just build onto that later on. You've got all these places you can go, all these stories you can tell, and underneath of that is a super, super strong foundation. No one could complain about that. No one could complain about that. You have this massive, awesome open-world RPG with a 35-hour story. Like, how could you complain about building on that foundation? That's going to be amazing, right? Big thanks to everyone for the support. Keep it up. 25,000 subs is right around the corner. Next stop, 48651. Did you thank the nice people for being, or are you being me today? Wait, did you thank the nice people, or are you being me today? LOL, F them. Thank them for what? I've been thanking people for hitting sub. I can't see the subscriber count because my mobile phone's being used for the stream over on the mobile platform. We have 61 people watching over there and almost 6,000 likes. That's amazing. Thanks for the support. I tell you what, if you like me streaming over here on this mobile platform, consider hitting that star button at the top. It helps you join my community. You become a subscriber, you get a badge next to your name, and little emojis that I designed for you. The game's supposed to be 35. 70 if you do a completionist run, Abe. My contention with live service games, especially Battle Pass games, mostly come from my personal experience interacting with them. Some games feel a bit soulless while chasing Battle Pass levels. Yeah, we have 750 people hanging out. Super strong day. If you're unfamiliar with my content, let's get out of the trailer for a second. If you're unfamiliar with my content, we do variety gaming coverage. We've covered Starfield. I'm doing a Forspoken stream later today. I have an upload today about the S-Squad Kill the Justice League. Is it going to be live service? That'll be an upload today. Lots of content on this channel. Make sure you're hitting subscribe, hit the bell button. If you ever come to YouTube and I'm not on your homepage, check your subscriber tab. We do multiple streams a day a lot of the times and uploads. So I really, really hope you're enjoying your time. I really, really hope you're enjoying the conversation. I'm more excited for Hogwarts than any other game this year. The big games I'm looking forward to are Hogwarts Legacy, Jedi Survivor, and Diablo 4. Like those, and Starfield. Those are like my big four. Those are my big four. I mean, there's more. I did a stream about, the games I'm looking forward to in 2023, and Hogwarts was definitely listed among them. Yeah. It's not confirmed to have anything online, Spider-Man. No. There's no microtransactions. Their website literally says no microtransactions will be in the game. It's, for all intents and purposes, Hogwarts Legacy could be a self-contained one-off game, right? Like that's what's so funny is I'm not saying it is. I'm saying that it could. I'm saying that it could. Got to get back to work. Thanks for doing this. Thanks for hanging out, Christopher. Don't forget, another benefit of being a member is you can keep the show going in the background. You can become a member and get in my Discord. And you can listen to the show there. And you can also listen to the show in the background if you're on YouTube Premium. Nice shirt. Thank you. This is a full, all-over print Centipede shirt. The people on YouTube can see, the whole thing from this camera angle. And you can get it from 80stees.com. That's spelled with 80. 80stees.com. And then use my code over there. Code LONO will get you 30% off if you shop over there. We are partnered with them. I love Skyrim, hoping Starfield lives up to that. I really hope Hogwarts scratches the same itch. I would never wish for a bad game. Yeah, neat Lego set there. Yes, wrong button. This Lego set was gifted to me by Siege Master. We have an Amazon wish list, and you can send and help jumpstart our Lego channel. If you're really, really into Legos, you guys can't see it on the TikTok. It's the Harry Potter 1 picture 4 options mosaic. You can do the 4 different house crests. And we're going to do that for the Lego channel to try to coincide it with Hogwarts. Right now, my Lego Star Wars Yoda build is going up. It's going up. Yo, Brown Excellence with a $5 tip. Hope you're doing well, Lono. What do you think of the new S-Squad leak? Seems like there's a battle pass. I have an upload about that today. It's going to hit after this stream, and then we're going to hang out with members. And we're then going to do a live stream about Forspoken. So we'll be doing that. You can hear my thoughts on the S-Squad leak. Thank you for the $5 tip, by the way. That is an upload today. Hey, it's Pugs! My man Pugs! Good to see you in chat, Pugs. I hope you're well, Pugs. I saw your comment in the Discord yesterday. I know times are tough for some folks, dude. I hope you're continuing to do well. This is all that really matters right here. I'm gonna get one of these guys and name him Zubair. Look how cuddly he is. Look how cuddly he is. Look at that guy playing with a ball on the. Oh, look at this guy. You can scratch his belly. Come on. What more do you need in this game, man? What more do you need? Pugs, great to see you. It is good. It's good to see Pugs. Stephanie says, hi, I'm new here. I pre-ordered this game before I knew what it was about. I got excited about the game after I watched the first showcase. Well, good to see you, Stephanie. If you pre-ordered this game, just be sure to know what platform did you pre-order it on, because the release dates are a little bit different now depending on what platform you're going to play on. So, I have a Niffler statue and a Niffler plushie. Amazing, Talica. Amazing. Thanks, man. I kind of needed that pick-me-up today. I'm glad, Zubair. I'm glad. I'm not glad that you needed a pick-me-up, but I'm glad that it helped you. I'm glad that it was a pick-me-up for you. I am. I'd rather be able to fight it than tickle its belly. Definitely gonna hit up some Hogwarts, guys. We're not even halfway there yet. Now would be a great time to give some members. We've kind of crested, which means a lot of people still hanging out are being super loyal to the show. So make sure and give them some love. Let's give some members. Let's get some of these new folks in the door. These are always really good days to add people to our community here. And I'm just going to check the numbers here. We have gotten a ton of people to click on this video from a suggest. That official trailer is just absolutely rewarding us. What a wonderful timing that was. That trailer went live maybe an hour before we did. So that's amazing. About half of the people who clicked on this stream did so because it was suggested on that official trailer. If that's where you came from, thank you so much for clicking on my video. I hope you've enjoyed the conversation and the discussion. We're going to keep on talking and doing things. Yeah, that new cinematic trailer really helped us out. I'll have to check out the new trailer. I'll show it to you right now. You want to see it? Here. I'll rewind it. There you go. This is what it is. I'm not going to give you sound, but you don't need sound for this trailer for the most part. What's going on? What's good, Eddie? How are you? Don't forget to smash like, says Goddess. That's right. Last gen releases later. Yeah. Last gen releases February 10th is PS5, Series X and S, and PC. And then last gen gets it 2 months later in April, right? And then we also are seeing the Nintendo Switch release date is in June. You look like James Potter. I think I'll take that. I think the guy that they had portraying him was a pretty good looking dude. I'll take that as a compliment. I just came through my notifications. Yo, always good to see you, BellX. It wasn't an insult, so it's closer to a compliment as I'm going to get around here. I was expecting a comment about cookies. Smash like, what a joke. Watch this. What are you going to do? What are you going to leave? Oh no, don't leave. Yo, the Cisco just gifted 5 members to folks watching on YouTube. Oh, actually, he's not that good. Oh gosh. I don't know if that's I don't know if that's a compliment. Tony the Tiger, Pure Lycian, Soliloquy, 7, Dustin, all got gifted memberships. That's the end of the trailer. Let me bump this up. That means we are at 13. We are now past the halfway mark on the daily member goal. Thank you so much. And we've already had 1 coffee order of the day. Who's going to be the next? Appreciate you guys so much. What house will you pick? Slytherin. Let us know in chat right now, guys. What house will you pick? Will you let the game sort you? Will you let the Wizarding World sort you? Or are you just going to pick one, right? Watch the likes. Oh, you're going to go crazy. Oh, he's going to go crazy. Give me the 10K, Eddie. Give me the 10K. I thought you were being unkind. I thought he was being unkind. New young James Potter, on the other hand. Yeah, he's a bit of a dreamboat. He's not bad. Kind of looks like a young, teenage version of Henry Cavill a little bit. Henry Cavill's obviously a god when it comes to attractiveness, so nobody's close to him. But that guy could be like a young, going through puberty era. You can actually let the hat sort you in the game. That's sick. Yeah. No, yeah, you can let the hat sort you. Actually, right now, you can get sorted by answering questions on the Wizarding World website and then sync it up with the WB your profile. So then that'll be your sorting when the game boots up. You can actually do that. So you can go answer questions right now and get sorted. It'll sort you according to the answers that you give. It'll pick your wand. It'll pick your Patronus. It'll do all that for you. And then you can sync it up with WB. I see a couple of Ravenclaws in chat. Slytherin first playthrough, says Baba D, then Hufflepuff. Okay. Wizarding sorted into Griff with a wolf Patronus. Yeah, my Patronus I was very disappointed in. My Patronus is a dadgum swan. Any other perks? I don't know. I'm not partnered with them, by the way. I don't get some kind of a kickback by saying that. I'm just letting people know they can do that. That's something you can do ahead of time if you want. Does it affect the story? No. According to leaks, regardless of the house you pick, all of the quests and storylines, they end as they typically do. But there will be different stages of the quest depending on what you have. Progression will be different, right? That guy says shout out, shout out, shout out. Settle down, man. Classy says Slytherin over here on the TikTok. Yo, my man Brown Excellence going to jump in as a member. Hufflepuff Gang, where you at, says Eddie. Just defaults to lashing out. Yeah, exactly. Let's bump that daily member goal to 14. My man Brown Excellence helping. I love seeing people do it on their own as opposed to gifting, man. I love the gifting. The generosity of this community is phenomenal. If you cannot afford a membership, man, do it. Like, just be here as often as you can, and then you might get it gifted. That's how it bases it. Hilly says Jigglypuff. In 2020, arcade video game revenue in 1980, 40 billion. Total revenue today was 165 billion. Yeah, Jason. I don't think anybody's disputing that the profitability of video games is insanely higher than it used to be, right? Like, way higher than it used to be. Yeah, 25,000 subs is within reach. It's within reach. Hey, another new one. Can we get a member train? We have not ever had a member train here. It's always gifted member trains. Let's get an actual member train. We got another one. Scolier Tapturn. I hope I said that right. Scolier Tapturn just became a member. Let's go. That's 15 out of the needed 25. If we hit 25, I gift 5 back to the community as a pay it forward. We almost always get member trains from gifteds. I want to see like an actual, everybody just hitting that join button on their own. That's what I want to see, man. I got gifted on my work account and thought I'd sub on my personal. I really appreciate that. That's very, very kind. Thank you. Anybody who's been gifted a member, you can upgrade for $1 to Member Plus. I'll count that too, by the way. If you upgrade your membership to Member Plus, it costs $1, and then it'll be your membership. You'll get extra uploads periodically. You'll be bumped up a teeny bit as well in any time we do anything. So I'll count that as well. Yo, Mitch McDonald with 14 months. What a milestone. And it's a VIP. It's the best I can do. Mitch, what are you talking about? You've always been very kind to the streams. You've had memberships on multiple channels. You the best. You're always wearing amazing shirts. Thank you. I keep it safe for work, so I can't read what you said. If you like my shirts, they come from 80s Tees. Check them out. I'm partnered with them. They send me these shirts. You can go to 80stees.com, and you can use code LONO to get 30% off. It's a big discount. A lot of their stuff is gone up a little bit in price because it's all official licensed merch, which is why that discount's so helpful. I can see you being a swan, though, because you're always so prim and proper with your grooming. You are a swan, always seeking attention. That's why you're a streamer. I'm prim and proper with my grooming. I did notice this camera angle. It shows how I did a pretty good job with my beard this last time. Obviously, I did this on Sunday, so the neck is growing in a little bit. But I noticed that in one of the shots. I was like, I did a pretty good job with my beard this last time. I'm still working with Into the AM as well, Xanatos, but our sales with them slowed down, and when that happens, they stop sending you shirts. So you can still use my code at Into the AM. I still get credit. You still get a discount. If a bunch of people do that in 1 month, I'll reach out and say, hey, send me some more stuff, right? What are the leaks? I'll give you a recap. I've been streaming for an hour and a half, so that's why we're not necessarily just continuing to repeat them, but I'll give them to you. You ask so nicely in all caps. So the Hogwarts Legacy new leaks were from the art book. A guy got his hand on the art book early. Apparently, the story is going to take 35 hours. A completionist run will take 70 hours. And then, let me get into my Word document with all of my show notes here. Give me 1 second. Oh, I closed my show notes. Oh, no, I didn't close my show notes. Here we go. The other thing that came from the art book is 7 total pieces of equipable gear: a wand, gloves, face, headwear, neckwear, robe and cloak, and outfit. 7 pieces of equipable gear. The equipable gear does have tier levels. We saw blue, green, orange, and purple. So that is that RPG element, and you can add traits to them with materials that you find out in the world. So very, very lengthy open world RPG. 35 hours just for the main story, 70 for a completionist run. That same leaker has indicated that if you do pick different houses, the progression of side quests will be slightly different, but they will fundamentally end the same way. So your story will be different, but marginally different depending on the house that you choose. So there is replay value in picking different houses, but generally speaking, That's the way that it's going to unfold. My man Dusk, jumping back in as a member on YouTube. Somebody has been taking care of me for months, so I'm truly grateful. I listen and then on Spotify mostly, so I'm going to send it forward. Thank you, Dusk, so much. I greatly appreciate that. Yeah, anytime you guys get gifted a membership on YouTube, if you're like, oh, I was going to take care of my own membership, you can gift one member at a time, by the way. You can just do one. You don't have to do a big batch. $5 and you bless somebody else. That's a great way to do it. Every time I'm working from home, I have your stream playing in the back, and I work. Always good to keep it on so I can stay in the loop. I appreciate that. That's very kind. Thank you. Yo, good morning, Dan. Good to see you. All games should be like Elden Ring. Yeah, I don't know about that. I do think open world games should attempt to do that. My man Abe's going to do it. He says, hey, guys, we can do a member train of gifteds. Let's do it one at a time. That takes us to 16 members for the day. My man's Trending's official that came in and was spamming shout out. Well, here's your shout out. You're a member now. I don't know how that happens. Yo, Brown Excellence is going to gift a member. Okay, here we go. This could turn into something. He says, my turn. This could turn into something. My man Alex, too, has been here the last couple of days hanging out. He gets a gifted member from Brown Excellence. Love to see all the support you have, homie. Thank you, Pugs. Let's keep gifting till Pugs gets one. Come on, Pugs needs a membership. Like, what's going on here? Break the Cycle PC when Returnal launches on February the 15th. What? We have an official release date for Returnal on PC? When did that happen? The 15th of February? First details on graphic settings and more. Oh my gosh. You guys don't know. I love Returnal. Oh my gosh, I freaking love that game. I love that game. I'm going to throw this in daily unsorted for potential content. Oh, baby. I love Returnal, man. I love it. Increase the dopamine of subs. I'm doing the best I can. I never shut up. I constantly talk. You never get dead air on this channel. And we've been having a great conversation for 1 hour and 40 minutes. We've held well over 700 viewers the entire time, which is a feat in and of itself. I hope that's an indication that you guys have really enjoyed the show. We're about to hit 500 likes on YouTube. We've hit 14,000 likes over here on the TikTok. Biggest leak has yet to be revealed. Slytherin are the secret heroes. Yay, Snape. I hope so. I'm Slytherin. That's what I'm going to pick. By the way, I wore a Slytherin shirt the other day from 80s Tees. So if you want to get yourself a shirt from over there, they do have Harry Potter shirts. So all you Harry Potter fans can help support me over there as well. Returnal on PC. The wait is over. It's going to be a good year for games, man. A lot of big games coming, man. We got a Star Wars game. We got a Harry Potter game. We got a Diablo game. We got Starfield. We got Spider-Man. Did I already say Spider-Man? I think I said Star Wars. So what's the best build to focus on in Returnal? That's not how this works. No, I actually think there are things you can do with your build throughout a run, Fuzzy, that you can choose between certain weapons and certain perks within reason, right? If you're choosing between two weapons, there are some basic tips that you can apply. But yeah, you can't really do a build. It's what drops in the game. But if you're choosing between certain weapons, there are some weapons that are really good, like a Hollow Seeker versus a, what's that one? Rot Lobber or whatever the frick it's called. There are some weapons that are just not conducive to survival unless you're a very experienced player that's really upgraded all of the weapons. So like Hollow Seeker, there's a couple that are a little bit more like, I would say, accessible weapons that perform well. If you don't get those weapons in the run, there's nothing you can do. Right, but there are weapons to keep your eyes open for, right? Electopylon Driver. Yeah, the driver's really strong. I love what's the one, winding up, spinning up, or whatever it's called on the carbine. Oh my gosh. I heard Rock Lobster. Oh, gosh. I pray this game isn't a total flop. I don't think it's going to be a total flop. It sounds like it's going to be a real dense game, right? Yeah, Hollow Seeker, well, I'll focus on that tonight. I've enjoyed the Shoddy with the slug. Shoddy's not bad, Fast Flex, if you get it really, really well upgraded. Yeah. Some of the guns, especially like if they're close range, they're not necessarily bad. It's just that you're going to need to really spend time upgrading them or they're going to struggle. Whiskey Neat's answering the question. Thank you for doing this. You guys can do this as well if you want. I'll read as many as I can. Whiskey Neat got Hufflepuff Eagle Patronus, Sycamore Phoenix Core wand. So excited to see how we get our wand in Hogwarts Legacy. I bet you it's one of the earliest quests where you like go get it from the guy in the town, right? The Potter lore nerds are like, oh my gosh, he doesn't know the name. Unreal Engine doesn't work the same on PS4 as it does on PS5, and that's a fact. What are you guys trying to do? Let's push Lona to 15K. Yeah, we've had an amazing push over here. Amazing push over here on the mobile platform where we stream. I would love to figure out how to do the horizontal streaming. I could send you the exact same thing that YouTube gets and have a unified chat through a Restream service, but we have no idea how to unlock that feature over here. Oh my gosh. This guy does not quit. Rissick coming in with a 10 gifted member bomb. Marvolo Ravenclaw says, what's the Discord link? Discord.gg/Reforge TV. If you want to follow me on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, or Discord, it's Reforge TV. If you need the link, it's in the description of the video below, or you can type !Discord in the chat, which my homies are doing that for you right now. Yo, Rissick with 10 gifted members. Cliffo gets one. Whiskey Neat gets one. They just answered the question. Heavy Metal Mama's a long-time community member. They get one. Peter Dobson, Johnny McDonnell, Gara, Foggy, FN is here all the time. Dwoovy, Draxor, and J Vindictive, another name that I recognize. That's going to take us to 27. That means I have to gift 5. That is so kind. Rissick wants to take the crown of most gifted members in a month. Rissick does not quit. This guy orders coffee. He gives members. He is super supportive here all the time. You love to see it. Here's the 5 that I owe you guys. Coming in hot. I do this to pay it forward and say thank you for helping us hit a goal every single day since like November. What a freaking achievement we have pulled. Casey Davidson. Captain Steve gets one. That's right. Good to see you, Captain Steve. Jason Hudson, Reckless Gambit, Trent Llewellyn. I still want to try to do a show with Steve. I got to figure out how we could do it because we do a little bit of a different thing on Fridays now, but it'd be amazing to try to do a show with you. Oh, man, I'll have to think about it. I'll have to brainstorm. What could you bring to the table with all your No Man's Sky knowledge and expertise? We could have an amazing discussion. I just got to think of what could it be. Sadly, No Man's Sky it doesn't really work all that well for us anymore. I love that game. It's one of my favorite games I can't play or cover. It just doesn't fit with what we do. Their marketing is just so hard. It's so hard to cover it. If you're a No Man's Sky channel, I think their marketing's fine. But if you're not a No Man's Sky channel, it's so difficult to cover their stuff. Sean Murray will tweet out like an emoji, and like that's their big push. So, Captain Toasty Buns gifts a member, taking us to 28. If that number hits 50, I have to do it again, by the way, so you guys can keep going if you'd like. Might have to wait a bit longer, but we deserve the same opportunity to play that new gen. I'm used to auto-clicker to get those, like... Oh, no, don't do that. You're using an auto-clicker to get the likes up? I miss Subway's $5 footlong. I miss the commercials. No, I don't. Those commercials were super annoying. Been doing cup of tea videos now, all open world games with big monsters, not just No Man's Sky. Really? Take no offense to this. I didn't know you were doing that. I am so busy. I've not been able to check your channel in a while. I think you probably understand and relate to that, as busy as you probably are as well. I didn't know you were doing that. Okay. Let me take a peek over there and see if I can't cook something up. It'd be really fun to do a show. It'd be really fun to do a show with you. If you do any content like that, if you record anything with other people, feel free to reach out. I'd love to do that. So both Lono, both Returnal and Tilu Remake Part 1 are 60 on PC. Well, lesson learned, Spider-Man. Lesson learned! Lesson learned, Spider-Man. No props, chap. I like to work and lurk and catch up on your content. Thank you. I appreciate that. I love No Man's Sky, but I haven't seen any news about a new expedition. You got to follow guys like Captain Steve. Guys, subscribe to Captain Steve if you want No Man's Sky coverage and a very, very polite and enjoyable voice. You know, good content over there. Seriously, you're gonna get stuff from him you ain't gonna get from me. I can't cover all that stuff. Wheezy says that's why I'm very curious now. That's what I'm saying. Like, why did they do that with Spider-Man, man? I think that was ego. That was ego. They should not have done that with Spider-Man. It wasn't as commercially successful as other games. You know what I'm saying? Even in D2, it's annoying to play previous gen skipping all over the screen. I'm not going to argue with you, Classy. There's a really good article I was going to react to. I don't think I did, where it was arguing that the latest PlayStation trailer and announcements is showing that like old gen's getting left behind. No Man's Sky coverage. Why? Because it's one of the most amazing like Cinderella Man stories we've ever seen in gaming. Have you paid any attention to the game lately? It is quite literally. It might as well be a sequel to the original game. It might as well be called No Man's Sky 2. It's phenomenal at this point. Regular expeditions, which is basically seasonal format content. Such an amazing experience. So many beautiful updates. All for free. All for free. No Man's Sky is quite literally one of the best turnaround stories, if not the best turnaround story in video game history. I don't know if another game matches it as far as a comeback kid. I don't think anything else comes close, personally. Yes, I'll be streaming Hogwarts when it comes out, yes. 60. The difference between these two games is effing hilarious. Yeah, the Forspoken PC features and Returnal. Yeah. Our second show today is about Forspoken. Yep. Yeah. It is. That one's looking rough. That one's looking rough. Cheers all. Yeah. You guys definitely need to check out Captain Steve. No Man's Sky is up there with A Realm Reborn when it comes to comeback stories. Catch me up on A Realm Reborn. I'm not familiar with that one. If you guys are just tuning in, Hogwarts Legacy leaks. I'll give you a recap for anybody that's stumbling in here. It's like they're not talking about Hogwarts. All right, okay. Brand new 4K trailer dropped today. Hogwarts Legacy 4K cinematic trailer. Looking at it right here. I'll let you guys see it a couple of times. The recap. So there was a Hogwarts Legacy leak. The art book got into somebody's hands early, and the Hogwarts Legacy story is going to last about 35 hours. And if you do a completionist run, it will be 70 hours. Also contained in the art book leaks, 7 equipable items that will potentially have tiers of quality, like green, purple, blue, things like that. And looking very, very promising. We've had some debates today about whether or not they could do an ongoing service model, add-on content, DLC, additive stuff like battle passes and the like. Some of the concept art had the Great Hall decorated for Christmas, so obviously that makes people wonder, could they do like live service events? Could they turn the Hogwarts school into a central hub to add on to later? My producer has speculated that we could see a Hogwarts Online added later or done as a separate thing, because you got Quidditch, other wizarding schools you could go to. You even have all of the stuff that they've done with Fantastic Beasts. There's a lot of things that they could do with the game. Just the room of requirement things that you can do as far as almost like a wizarding sim game, right? Very, very impressive stuff. Live service holiday events could be really dope. It really could be. Like, the whole school changes. It'd be fun. Like, I don't know, man. People are real skittish about live service. And I'm like, bro, you could really do some good things with it. You really, really could. A 5 spot from my man, Captain Steve. Have you seen a game called Under a Rock by Nordic Trolls? I'm liking the looks of that. Procedural world with crafting and cool features. I've not seen that. Captain Steve, that reminds me of Nightingale. I think Nightingale's going to be some kind... I do. I have a hunch. I have a hunch that Nightingale's going to be like a sleeper hit, because the potential is insane. With the building and the sim aspects and the worlds that are essentially like randomly created through the card system that they have. Like, I don't know, man. There's a lot there, right? There is a lot there. I think Nightingale could be a sleeper. There's something about that game that makes me think it could be a lot bigger and more long-standing than people think. And the game you're describing kind of sounds like that. But no, I've not seen anything about Under a Rock. If you guys are just tuning in, we are checking out... I can't show it to you on TikTok. That's a reason to come watch on YouTube. We're checking out the brand new 4K cinematic trailer for Hogwarts Legacy, but we've also been debating a bunch of different things about it. Captain Steve says, I want Nightingale. That does look like uber cool. Under a Rock is like that, but has cel-shaded look. Well, now you have my attention. Cel-shaded on Unreal 5? I love cel-shaded. Oh my gosh, hang on a second. Let's go here. Under a Rock. 2 weeks ago, Blackwoods is showing it off. Yeah, it kind of makes me think of... It's what I would love to see. It's like Sea of Thieves and Fortnite had a baby a little bit with its aesthetic style. I've consistently wanted to see Sea of Thieves do a third-person update. I don't understand why you can't, why you can't see your character in that. You know what I'm saying? I want to see my character. I want to see all my pirate garb that I got. You know what I mean? Like, I don't get that. Here's a quick trailer for Under a Rock we made for Math Chief's Indie Game Expo. Join us in Discord for more. That was tweeted December the 8th. Thank you, Barrier. Anybody in the Discord that wants to take a look? Good roundup on how it looks. I apparently have a gift for the such and such games had a baby. What did I say in the one game? It looks like... What did I say? It looks like Elden Ring in this game had a baby and taught it how to, and the devil taught it how to fight. What was that line? It was so good. I didn't even remember saying it. Only thing that can tank Returnal is if it has the Unreal 4 stutter shader compilation on PC. That'd be catastrophic. Wait, I didn't realize, is Returnal in the Unreal Engine? I didn't realize that. It looks pretty cool. Co-op up to 10 players. Captain Steve, did they have an estimated date on that game? Do they have an estimated date on Under a Rock, or is it just like early stages right now? I'll be honest with you. I don't like games like that being on my radar this early. What's your wand on Pottermore? I don't remember what my wand was, but I was Slytherin with a Swan Patronus. Very disappointed with the Swan Patronus, but Slytherin was a satisfying sorting for me. I thought that was exciting. Let's put some more gameplay up for you guys. One small stutter and you're getting smacked by the enemies. No estimated release. Coming to PC, PS5, and Xbox Series X. Okay. Even Captain Steve doesn't like typing the Xbox Series S. Even he knows. I'm kidding. I'm totally kidding. I'm kidding. But really, I'm not. Oh. Do you think the day before will be good? If you follow me on YouTube, Reforge Gaming, you're watching me here on the TikTok, Reforge TV. If you follow me on YouTube at Reforge Gaming, I have an upload. I have 2 uploads about that. I think the day before is a fake game. I don't think it's real. An S-Squad stream. Goat Reviews, I have an upload that I'll be sending to you guys in just a teeny bit here about that situation, yes. And then we'll go to members, and then our second stream of the day is going to be about Forspoken. Pretty much. Returnal features. DLSS, FSR, ultra-wide support, ray trace shadows and reflections, Dolby Atmos, DualSense support. I think it'll be fine. Not excited for Hogwarts yet, says Captain Steve. I feel like it will be linear and too story-driven to really cast your own legacy. May as well watch a movie. I don't agree with that. I think you can have, especially with 35 hours for the story and then another 35 hours for completionist, like 70 hours for completionist run. I feel like there'll be vast differences between the experiences that people have. Now, yes, I understand where you're coming from, right? If games have a beginning, middle, and an end, and we're basically, you and I are all experiencing the same story beats, are you really crafting your own legacy? But I think with the ability to create and craft your own room of requirement, have all those animals, and almost have like a wizarding sim game experience, I don't think so. If you've watched the latest gameplay reveals with the room of requirement, all that customization, I'm not worried about that. I also think you have to be careful with a game rooted in Harry Potter lore and the Harry Potter universe. If you don't have a really, really good story, if it's more of a generic story and you craft your own, I worry that people would be like, yeah, the story's weak. It's kind of like you're darned if you do, you're darned if you don't. If you focus too much on the story, well, then we all have a very similar story experience. Like, anybody who plays God of War Ragnarok is going to experience the same story beats. Well, that's okay because it's an amazing story, right? I feel like a Harry Potter game kind of needs that as well. I don't know. I'm in the middle. Like, I hear where you're coming from and can see why that could be a problem, but I also see a ridiculous amount of effort put into customization and content depth and variety, as well as, like, you gotta have compelling characters and narrative elements for a world like this to matter, right? I have a video hitting the Diablo, our Diablo channel, the Reforge dungeon. I have a video hitting sometime probably today about whether or not you should skip the story. And I even in a game like that, we're all going to experience the same cinematics and story, but that's kind of important for establishing the world and making it kind of matter. Why was co-op taken out of the game? That was one of the reasons I wanted the game. When did they ever say there was going to be co-op? I don't remember them ever saying that. Do you have any... did you find an article or something that says they took it out? That means they could add it later. Right? That means they could add it later. They could certainly bring that in another time. So Hogwarts outsell Starfield? Yeah. Yeah, Hogwarts is going to massively outsell Starfield. Starfield has 25 million people that don't even have to buy it because they can play it on Game Pass. Starfield's only on one platform. Hogwarts Legacy will absolutely crush Starfield in commercial sales. Hogwarts Legacy is going to be on this gen, going to be on old gen, and it's going to be on the Nintendo Switch. Right? Name and email? Oh, I can't remember. Hang on. I can't do it right now. I'll have to do it later, creature. I'll have to do it later. No, wait. I have it in my... No, wait. Hang on. I have it in my... I forwarded it to myself. Hang on. YouTube schedule. I forwarded it to myself. Right here. No, that's not it. Shoot. I can't remember what the name of the email was. I forwarded it to myself. I swear I did. Yep, here we go. All right, I got you. Trying to verify. Oh, okay. There we go. Sorry, my producer needed something real quick. I don't like to break from attention to show and have dead air. We are 2 hours into the show, guys. Thank you for a massive turnout today on both platforms. We could hit 600 likes easy on YouTube. We're nearing 15,000 likes over here on the TikTok. Better be worth the 5-year wait. When does it come out? February the 10th for PS5, Xbox Series X and S, and PC. And then it comes out 2 months later in April for old gen. And then it comes out in June for the Nintendo Switch. So it has a very weird, staggered release date, which I actually find concerning. As excited as I am for the Hogwarts Legacy release date, I find that to be concerning, right? They could be staggering the release because it's going to run really, really poorly on the old-gen consoles, which could very much be a Cyberpunk situation. Are they trying to hide this massive chasm between, right? Are they trying to hide that? Are they trying to be like, yeah, old-gen's going to run like dog water, you know? What are your thoughts about it on the Switch? I personally have not played any Nintendo Switch cloud games. It'll likely be a cloud game, right? Whoa, Brody dropping... What was that? Was that a beaver? That was a beaver in sunglasses. Thank you, Brody. That's so kind. Listen, you guys over here on the TikTok can help us hit our goal. Hit that star button. You get a little joystick badge and emojis that you can use, and it supports me streaming over here. Thank you so much for doing that. We hit our member goal on YouTube. We hit our member goal. We passed it. We're at 28 over 25. If that hits 50, I have to gift 5 members again. I already did that once. We already have a coffee order, Reforge roast. We have a light roast, a dark roast, and a holiday blend. That's another great way to support us. If you're a coffee drinker, check ours out. If you've never tried coffee with balanced acidity, you need to try Reforge roast. It's ours, by the way. That's not a sponsor. Like, that's a property of Reforge Gaming. That's ours. My wife and kiddos bag it up and ship it to you. My son, you guys have got to put some orders in for our coffee. My son, on his own, was like, he did a little project. He's like, I want to make a bunch of things for the coffee people that order And he cut a bunch of pieces of paper, he put a bunch of stickers on them, and then he drew arms and legs for the stickers. It's some of the most creative stuff I've ever seen him do. He said, I got a popcorn man eating himself. And I was like, I'm sorry, what did you say? And he had a popcorn guy that he drew arms and legs, and he had him holding a bag of popcorn. I'm like, that is absolutely hilarious. That could be a threadless t-shirt, for crying out loud. Like, brilliant little guy. That's the kind of stuff you'll get with your coffee orders from my little man and my daughter. They fill those bags with drawings and stuff. So thank you so much to everybody who's been supporting the coffee. Andrew Mandrew was 7 months, and it's a VIP membership. Welcome back. Whoop whoop. Another month. Great show, Lono, and the coffee. I love the drawing I got. Oh, awesome. Thank you. I was due for some drop by, says Brody. I know a game I'm excited about is about to release and go to info man. Oh, thank you, Brody. I appreciate that very, very much. Witcher 3 didn't run well at all and switched for me. I wouldn't have high hopes for Hogwarts Legacy running well on the Nintendo Switch. I'm not trying to be a hater. I just wouldn't have high hopes for it running all that well. It's a pretty big game, right? Big open world, expansive game. It's a lot going on there. A lot going on. By the way, I can't post links over here on the TikTok. You guys can go to reforgeroast.com if you're interested in the coffee, or you can use the link below on YouTube or the link in chat. reforgeroast.com. All the flavor profiles are there if you're interested to see what we got going on. You can save a little money by doing the combos. Creature's got that set up. You can do best of both worlds, get the light and the dark, or you can do the triple threat. You can get the light, dark, and the holiday. Coffee interesting. My girlfriend loves coffee. Definitely going to be looking into this. Yeah, if you know lovers of coffee, my wife's a pretty big coffee connoisseur, and she loves our coffee because of the balanced acidity. The balanced acidity just keeps it so smooth. You can drink it black. You can do cold brew. You can put a little bit of creamer, right? I use a little bit of Italian sweet cream. My wife drinks it black. Sometimes she puts some froth milk in it. It's great. People in chat can tell you how good it is. I'm not just trying to puff it up. It's actually very good. I have some in here right now. And I would love to get partnered with Yeti, because I'm always using their Yeti. I drink my coffee throughout the morning, so I love having that. Hey, there it is. Somebody ordered some Hufflepuff Squids. Gonna try out a bag of the dark roast. Thank you so much, Hufflepuff Squid. I love that name. Nintendo's got to make a new console soon. Well, apparently, according to rumors, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2, Tears of the Sun, or whatever it's called. What's it called? It's Tears of the Mountain, isn't it? I always get the name wrong. Tears of the Sun. That's the Bruce Willis movie, isn't it? I did it again. Apparently, The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild 2 is going to be the last big first-party title before they start doing Tears of the Kingdom. Thank you. My gosh, I'm bad at this. I swear I'm a professional streamer. Apparently, it's going to be the last first-party big Nintendo title before they start working on the next iteration. It's really, really hard because the Nintendo Switch has such amazing market saturation. It's got to be hard to walk away from it. Cost of production is low. They make profit per unit, which is unheard of a lot of the times in hardware sales. And so, yeah, I think Tears of the Kingdom will be the last big mainline. And Wheezy's saying we'll get an announcement this year and they're going to release it next year for a new Switch. I really hope that's true. That would be awesome. What would be really awesome is if the new Switch can run games like Tears of the Kingdom at higher fidelity. I can't stand 30 frames per second. As much as I love Breath of the Wild, it drives me crazy. It's just unfortunate because it's such a great game. I would have loved to have done a handful of runs, a handful of additional runs in it, but it's just one of those things where it kind of hurts my head. It kind of hurts my head. Let me do something very, very quickly here. Let's do this actually. Today 1:30 premiere schedule. Okay, close. Hogwarts, I got House Ravenclaw, Wand of Holly, and a Patronus of the White Stallion. I would love to have a better Patronus than the one that I got. I got to tell you, I'm probably not gonna allow it to pick my Patronus for me. I'm not gonna let it pick it for me, right? I'll I'll pick my own. I'll pick my own. I like that I got Slytherin, but I do not like the Patronus that I got. I don't. I do not like that. So I'll probably pick my own. I love the mobility of the Switch, especially with kids. Yeah, I love the mobility. I love the games. I love the first party titles. But yeah, I can't do the friggin' the performance. Just drives me dadgum crazy. It drives me dadgum crazy. Like that low performance. Like Hogwarts Legacy, I think Hogwarts Legacy gameplay will likely be fine everywhere that you play it. But I also think it's going to struggle on some of the platforms, right? What was that website? What's the website, guys? It was Pottermore, and then it went through. Was it Wizarding World now or something? What's the official.com if you want to get sorted, and then you can link it with your WB account so that when you boot up the game, you know what I'm saying, you automatically get sorted. Yo, Dusk is going to gift a membership and push us to 29, a little bit closer to the next big milestone. Ryan Butler got that one. Thank you so much for gifting it. It's just Wizarding World? Okay, it's Wizarding World. Oh, I guarantee you this is not. It's always not. Oh, it is this time. Okay. Lono, too long didn't read. A lot of crap has led to it being very likely that the next Switch will both utilize a mobile Ampere chip, which would be an insane leap, as well as potentially DLSS. Oh, I'm here for that. I'm here for that, bro. Hey, another order of coffee. My man Cisco does a triple threat. A bag of the dark roast, a bag of the light roast, and a bag of the Frickmas. We say Merry Frickmas here because I say frick. People give me grief about it, but it keeps things safe for work, right? I'm not dropping F-bombs every other word. So the Frickmas blend is right here. These are the new bags. We'll have the light and the dark roast in the new bags soon as well. So very, very excited about that. It was confirmed that your Patronus will not transfer to the game. Oh, good. Good. I don't have to worry about my Patronus. Coming over to the game. That's excellent. So, 23 months from Matt Ben. So close to 2 years. Almost 2 years from my man Matt. Guys, we are getting ready to shift gears. I have a video that I want to show you about the S Squad kills the Justice League. If you're watching on the TikTok, you are going to have to come over to YouTube Reforge Gaming and become a member to continue hanging out with us. You can watch the S Squad Justice League video, but then it's going to send everybody to a member stream to discuss it. Then I'll be back with a public stream about Forspoken. This is a great reason to become a member because you can be a part of all of the discussions, right? So right now, I'll give you guys like a minute or two. If you want to keep pushing this member goal, I'll let you bless some people. We've had an amazing show and an amazing conversation. So if you want to bring some people along with us, the S Squad Justice League video is about whether or not it's going to be live service, okay? Everybody can watch that video. I'm going to send you there in just a minute. We're then going to debate and discuss that with members only. That way I can take a break and eat my lunch. And then I'll be back. I'll be back with a public stream about Forspoken performance concerns, because yikes, it ain't looking very good. So, we are getting ready to do all those things and transition just a bit. So if you have not smashed the like button yet, now would be a great time to do it. We only need 30 more likes on YouTube to jump to the next milestone. We're super close to 15,000 likes over here on the TikTok. So smack that screen a bunch, go kind of crazy. Now's a great time to gift members on YouTube because a lot of the people that were only interested in like a quick drive-by view of the leaks and stuff, they've already left, okay? So the more loyal viewers are still hanging out. They're going to watch that premiere. Now's a great time to go on a little tear if you guys want to bless some more people. If not, totally fine. I'm getting the next video set up. We'll shift gears here in about 60, maybe a little bit longer, depending on if you guys go crazy or not. It was confirmed. Just an FYI. What's this message say? Just an FYI, if you didn't know, Patronuses don't matter in the game, or at least they don't get pulled over. Oh, okay. So we don't know if there's any Patronus presence in the game or not, right? Yeah, we don't know. Okay. Liked it, brother. Thank you, Go Reviews. I appreciate you hanging out. I wonder why WB didn't force microtransactions into Hogwarts, but originally did for Gotham Knights. It's hard to know. It really is hard to know, right? How much they decided to maybe they had micros and they decided to cut them out because of the reception of them recently. I think a lot of people worried about microtransactions might start to see they're going to show up in very infrequent or different ways because people don't like them. Okay, I gave you guys enough time. We're not going to go crazy with gifteds. We already did, so that's totally fine. We already went nuts. That's an amazing number. So I'm going to put a link in the chat, okay? I am going to send you guys over to this automatically, okay? I'm going to send you over there, like, automatically. And it's going to say, right? It's going to say, let's just do this. I'm going to set it for 11:45. I'm going to push it live as soon as you guys all get over there. But at the very least, people will get over there and be like, oh, it's almost about to air. So if you don't like redirect, click the link in chat. If you want to become a member, it's $5. We're going to discuss this upload about S-Squad Kills the Justice League. They are they doing live service or not? So that upload's going live. I'm going to send you guys there right now, and then I'm going to discuss it with members. Enjoy that video. If you're not a member, I'll see you back here later for my discussion about Forspoken performance concerns. Hang tight for my latest video about what's going on with another live service game. I'll send you to it in just a moment.